I think Tom.
I think Tom can beat John Jones because how fast and athletic he is.
But I'm more confident in Tom now because I trust in someone's. I know how John's acting. You know?
Who, John?
I know how John Jones is acting. You don't want it. Nowadays in the UFC, I think he knows Tom is the antidote to him. In terms of fighting.
MMA guru and Demetrious Johnson has just exposed John Jones, stating that Tom Aspinall easily beats him and he's running from Tom. On the other hand, Tom Aspinall spoke highly of John Jones, calling him one of the best to ever step into the cage. He said that while no fighter can be flawless, Jones has come closer than anyone else over the past decade and a half. Still, Aspinall noted that Jones has taken a lot of punishment throughout his career and is now up against someone with serious knockout power himself. Aspinall believes avoiding damage for a full 5-round fight will be a tough task for Jones, and since it only takes one solid punch, he feels confident in his chances to take advantage of that opening.
I think John is amazing at MMA. I think he's literally you can never be a complete UFC fighter. It's impossible. That's one of the things that draws me to the sport so much, is why I'm so obsessed about it. It's because you're constantly chasing perfection, but you're never going to get it. No one's ever going to be perfect complete fighter. But John, in my opinion, if you look at his body of work over the last 15 years, he's like as close as you can get to perfection as possible. That being said, he's got a lot of miles on the clock and he's fighting one of the most concussive punchers in UFC history, and I just think I can exploit it. Like, I think to get out the way of me for 25 minutes at this point in his career without getting hit once, and that's all I need is just one, I think that's going to be very difficult for anybody.
However, MMA Guru said he does not believe John Jones is afraid of Tom Aspinall, but the situation feels different now. He explained that if Tom had been next in line 5 years ago, Jones would have faced him without hesitation. What changes things today is the presence of doubt, something Jones never had when facing his past opponents. In the early part of his career, Jones relied on being more skilled and more athletic than fighters like Rampage Jackson and Shogun Rua, who were smaller and less powerful. Now, he believes Jones sees Tom as a real threat because he is just as big or even bigger, has serious knockout power, and can also wrestle at a high level.
Yeah. You know, if you look at John Jones's career, as great as he is, he's never fought a guy his size or bigger with finishing potential. That can grapple.
Moreover, Demetrious Johnson also said he believes Tom Aspinall can beat John Jones because of his speed and athletic ability. He pointed out that Jones asking for 6 months before the fight might be his way of trying to gather more information on Aspinall, since there is not much footage of Tom in long, drawn-out fights. Most of Aspinall's wins come quickly with explosive attacks. Johnson mentioned that besides a brief moment when Tom got clipped by Sergey Pavlovich, he has looked dominant. He thinks if Aspinall stays calm, avoids being distracted by John's reputation, and keeps the pressure on, he has a real chance to win.
I think Tom can beat John Jones because how fast and athletic he is. The biggest thing is that this is where me and Michael were talking, is that Jones says he wants 6 months. I don't expect Tom Aspinall to wait 6 months.
No.
If Jones says, oh, he can fight somebody else, I think it's for Jones to get more data on Aspinall, because there's not a lot of data on Aspinall when he fights. Blitzes across the void, throws a big shot, knocks somebody out. I mean, he has had, back and forth when he got rocked by Pavlovich a little bit, when they're like kind of...
He stung him.
Stung him a little bit, right? Yeah. That's the only thing I see. But other than that, I think Jones wants more data on him, and I think if Aspinall can weather and take the fight to John, and not be caught up in the mystic aura, and don't allow Jones to run away from him, I think Tom beats him.
MMA Guru pointed out that throughout his career, John Jones has always spoken with complete confidence, saying things like he is going to destroy and dominate his opponents. But for the first time, Jones mentioned the idea of gambling his legacy, which struck MMA Guru as unusual and out of character. He believes that kind of language suggests uncertainty, especially when facing someone like Tom Aspinall, who is bigger, stronger, faster, and has true knockout power along with solid grappling skills. Unlike Jones's past opponents, Tom is not going to be an easy fight, and the risk he presents is far greater than what Jones faced with someone like Cyril Gane.
For John Jones' whole career, he's like, I'm going to destroy, I'm going to beat, I'm going to win. That's all of his speaking points going into fights. For the first time, and I swear to God, John Jones said this, these guys want me to gamble my legacy against this other guy. What language? As a champion.
Yeah.
You know, we hear a lot of language. Strickland was a champ once, and his language was colorful. But this language is, this ain't John Jones.
Yeah.
Gamble your legacy? What gamble? You're John Jones.
Yeah.
So I think he senses like,
well, I think
he's bigger, he's stronger, and which is so uncommon. He's bigger, stronger, and faster.
Yeah. No, he's definitely faster.
One punch knockout power.
Yeah.
Can grapple.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to be as easy as Gunn. He might get taken down and destroyed. We don't know. He's a heavyweight at the end of the day. He's good, could grapple him for heavyweight.
Yeah.
Ariel Helwani also voiced frustration with John Jones for stalling the division and blocking Tom Aspinall's path. He said if Jones wants to enjoy life or make money, that is his choice. But holding onto the belt without defending it is unfair. Helwani called it a clear case of ducking, pointing out that in any sport, progress is essential. He added that Jones has already proven himself and would not be criticized for stepping aside. But if he will not compete, he should vacate the title and let others move forward.
It's not about you, John. It's not about you. It's not about your life. It's not about your story. If you want to enjoy your life, if you want to be a part of a reality show, if you want to take that money and delay things and hold someone else's dreams back from becoming a reality, that is ducking. That is ducking, because there is a time-honored tradition in this business, in the sport, in combat sports, in fight sports, in sports period, that the whole thing has to move along. It's not about your story. Your story is great and you're living your best life, great. Get rid of that belt. If you want to do that, great. No one will begrudge you. Everyone thinks you've done enough. You've earned enough. You've proven enough. Now allow someone else to have that same story. Allow someone else to write that same story. You are holding him back. You are holding back not only Tom Aspinall, but the rest of the division. So yes, you're missing the point. This isn't about you. It's about the belt.
In predicting the fight, MMA Guru believes Tom Aspinall will use smart movement and feints to keep Jones cautious. He imagines Tom staying unpredictable with his speed and low calf kicks, making it difficult for Jones to time anything. While Jones might land a few shots or even attempt takedowns, MMA Guru sees Tom stuffing the attempts and then rushing in with explosive attacks. Similar to what happened in the Reyes fight, he believes Tom can break the distance and land clean. He predicts that Tom finishes John Jones in the first round.
But I reckon if I had to give a prediction, I think Tom Aspinall goes out there, feint heavy. He does a lot of that.
Yep.
A lot of that stuff. Jones goes, I'm not just going to wade forward like I did against Cyril Gane.
Yep.
Calf kicks, smash.
Yep.
Calf kick, smash. Too low for John to catch.
Yep.
Fast. John maybe catches him with some stuff, maybe shoots in. Aspinall's going to stuff it, I reckon. Separate like a Dominic Reyes could. And then he blitzes in. Bap. Catches John. I think John goes down in round 1.
Moreover, MMA Guru said that if John Jones relies heavily on his elbows and believes that if Jones were to finish Tom Aspinall, it would likely be through an elbow strike. He explained that whether it happens during ground and pound or in the clinch, Jones's use of elbows is one of his most dangerous weapons and part of what makes him so vicious in the cage.
And I think for John Jones, it's elbows. Elbows is his way. If Jones finishes Aspinall, it'll be with an elbow. Whether it comes from ground and pound because he's got some of the nastiest, he has that leverage.
On the other hand, Demetrious Johnson explained that what makes the potential fight so fascinating is how unpredictable it is. He imagined the moment John Jones gets close enough to engage, throwing elbows while covering up even if the initial attack fails. Johnson pointed out that once they truly start exchanging strikes, the real intensity of the fight will emerge, with both fighters revealing their true grit in the chaos.
But see, that's why it's such a hard. When I simulate it, it's like, hey, Yep. I don't have to bite on the feints. It's almost like, when are you gonna go? You're playing with that window. When are you gonna go? And I'm like, he comes to a certain distance. I'm gonna throw the elbow, throw the elbow. He pushes him off. Oh, the blitz didn't work. Do it again. It's a hard. That's why I'm excited about the fight, because how does he get there? Because once he gets there and they start fucking fighting, I think this gorilla's gonna come out of that dust cloud.
Furthermore, Tom Aspinall said he is prepared to fight John Jones despite knowing how dangerous the match would be. He described Jones as possibly the most dangerous fighter in MMA history, and maybe even the most dangerous unarmed person alive. Tom shared the intense experience of both fighters getting ready backstage, wrapping their hands, and stepping into an arena packed with tens of thousands of fans and millions watching worldwide. He understands that when they enter the cage, one of them could be knocked out.
I'm willing to step in the cage with, we're talking about John Jones here, who is the most dangerous guy to ever fight in MMA. So I'm talking about potentially the most dangerous man, unarmed, on earth, right, who I'm potentially going to fight with. Now, if I'm sat backstage getting my hands wrapped, knowing that he's over the opposite side of the arena getting his hands wrapped, we're both going to walk into the arena in front of 35,000 people with millions watching around the world, and one of us is going to get separated from our consciousness, quite literally.
Tom Aspinall also said the fight depends mostly on Jon Jones and the money involved. He is ready to fight whenever, but thinks Jones wants a big payday because of his age, previous injuries, and the danger of facing a tough challenger like Aspinall.
Me personally, I can't do anything. I think it's just down to money, I think, on his side. So I will fight whenever, wherever he wants. But it's down to money, I think.
And you say he's afraid to take the risk. What do you mean by that?
I just think that at this stage in his career, he's had an amazing career. I just think that he's like 37, 38 years old. But not only that, he's got a million miles on the clock. So he's got a lot of damage on the body. He's took a lot of shots to the head. And that's not me saying anything negative about it. That's the reality of it. And I'm sure Jon Jones is aware of that. When you put him in with... I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but I'm literally the most dangerous guy in the UFC if you look at the stats. When you put him in with a guy of my size who has them credentials at this stage in his career, I think John's a smart guy and he realizes that, so he wants compensating financially for it.
Ariel Helwani expressed frustration, saying Jon Jones is avoiding a fight with Aspinall and stopping him from chasing his dream, which Jones has already achieved. He called this selfish and against the spirit of the sport. Helwani urged the UFC to make a clear decision and asked if the fight would ever happen at Madison Square Garden. He noted that if it does, nearly a year will have passed since Aspinall's last fight, which lasted just 60 seconds. Helwani said it is a shame Aspinall is being held back at the height of his career and insisted Jones should either defend his title or give it up.
It is ducking at this point. You are ducking. You're ducking the opportunity. You're taking that opportunity away from someone else. You are robbing someone else of the same opportunity and the same dream that you have already realized and lived. That is selfish. That's not how the game works. And so it's on the UFC to make the call. Make the call. And you know what? They may have already made the call, and it may be happening at MSG, and we're all being, we're all being taken for a ride here. But honestly, if that is the case, come out and say it, and please tell Tom Aspinall, for the love of God, because by the time that fight happens, if it does happen on that day, it's going to be a year. We're approaching a year since his last fight, and that fight lasted 60 seconds. It is a travesty. It is a crime what is happening to Tom Aspinall in the prime of his life. In the prime of his career. Give up the belt or fight. That's it. Defend or vacate.
Moreover, Cain Velasquez shared his thoughts after watching Tom Aspinall's fighting style, noticing a clear way Tom moves and strikes while pressing forward. Cain believes Jon Jones has seen this too. He said Jon is very thorough in his preparation, studying opponents deeply and understanding every detail. Because of this, Cain thinks Jon will be able to figure out how to handle Aspinall. He does not see Aspinall beating Jon Jones.
So me just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit. And his striking, the way he comes in and strikes. I think Jon sees it too.
Okay.
So I think with that, just because again, he studies, man. He does his homework. He's a master at this. He analyzes things. He studies you over and over again. I think just for that reason, he's going to know what to do. So I don't think he beats Jon, no.
Cain also mentioned that all fighters have habits, but some hide them better than others. He pointed out that Tom's way of striking is more obvious when he moves aggressively. Cain said it is crucial to mask these habits by using feints, but Tom tends to commit fully when he attacks, either rushing or lunging with everything he has. Cain acknowledged that this approach has been successful for Tom, and he has achieved a lot because of it. Still, Cain believes Jon's skill in studying opponents will allow him to recognize and exploit this pattern to defeat Tom.
Everybody has a pattern, right?
Okay.
Everybody has a fight pattern.
Yeah.
And then some people disguise it better than others. The simple fact is the way, the way that he comes in and fights, he does have a pattern that's somewhat easier to find when he comes in and strikes. And I think you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of things come with that. It's disguising your pattern. It's, you know, throwing fakes here and there before. But when he comes to attacks, he comes in and attacks. It's 100% full go. You know, he comes in, glides in, lunges in, and does his attack. Again, not that it's not effective. It is. You know, he's done great things with it. I mean, look where he's at now. Not taking anything away from him. No, he is. But I think with the type of guy that Jon Jones is, I think he studies him and he beats him because of that.
Cain Velasquez concluded by praising Tom Aspinall's performance, calling him an outstanding fighter who has earned his place as a world champion by defeating strong competitors. He agreed with the comments about Tom's physical build, quickness, striking ability, and power, describing all of it as very impressive. Cain said that for him, the most important part is how fighters match up against each other, which is what makes fights exciting. He ended by expressing his admiration for what Tom is accomplishing in his career.
What he's been doing, great, obviously, you know, champion of the world, amazing, you know, he's beaten some tough guys to get there. I see what you're saying as far as like the body type, the movement, the speed, you know, the striking, the strength that he has. So it's great, man. Just great stuff. And you know, for me, it's obviously it's the matchups. You know, like the matchups was what makes everything interesting. So I think it's great what he's doing.
Demetrious du Plessis recognized Tom Aspinall's youth and strong drive while pointing out that Jon Jones is approaching the final stages of his career. He hopes to see Jones retire without a loss and wants Aspinall to become the next top star. At the same time, du Plessis respected Jones's fighter mentality and his skill to make tough battles seem simple, confirming why many consider him the greatest ever.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten, and I want him to retire, and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing. But Jon Jones, being the warrior that is, he says, pay me enough and I'm doing it. Aspinall wants it, and one of them has to lose that fight. And that's the one thing, you look at it and go, Aspinall's probably going to win. But then, if you ask me that, I say, no. We've said that so many times with Jon Jones, and it makes it look easy. He is.
Eddie Hall expressed strong confidence that Tom Aspinall would beat Jon Jones in a mat. Although he acknowledged Jones as a legendary fighter, Hall believed Aspinall's skill, quickness, and growing potential would give him the upper hand. He also hinted that Jones's hesitation to accept the fight might show fear. Hall stressed that actions inside the cage are what count most, and stood by his view that Aspinall would come out victorious if the two ever fought.
Jon Jones or Tom Aspinall. So if you don't know MMA world, sorry to bore you, but Tom Aspinall is the UFC's #1 right now. Jon Jones is, you know, he's seen as the best MMA fighter on the planet. Dana White's got a massive for him, says he's unbeatable. Honestly, I think if you put Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall in a room and said one man leaves, I think Tom Aspinall leaves that room. I genuinely do. I think, and I think Jon Jones, I mean, I can't badmouth the guy. He's got an amazing record, but he's definitely ducking Tom Aspinall, 100%. And I think he's even said he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall after his next fight. He's pretty much going to retire after this fight, so he's ducking Tom Aspinall. I mean, he can say what he wants, but actions speak louder than words. So there we go. Anyway, the answer to that question is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is kicking Jon Jones.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.